Okay, so today I'm going to be giving some tips on how to clean up your room by getting certain tools to make it more organized and clean. And, these are things I wish I knew when I was a teenager, when I was in my 20s, because I'm a very active person. I move around a lot. That's just the kind of person that I am. I'm a very, very, very active individual. And I'm like a living hurricane. Okay, I move around, and my room just ends up really messy, clothes all over the place, objects on the floor. It's not that great, or at least it was not in the past. It still is that way, kind of. Like I'll end up with a huge mess, but I clean it up much faster now. Very, very fast. I mean, 30 minutes, everything's clean. So I just want to explain certain things you can use to help. If you're like me, you're somewhat a very busy person, you're active, and you're very messy at the same time. You're disorganized. Your room, you have to swim through your room to pick up your clothes and everything. Certain tools that I got. So right here are cubicles. These are very good for organization. Okay, I'll just put it that way. And they're very flexible depending on your level of creativity. You can make it tall, like I have right now. Okay, or you can make it horizontal across the floor on a lower level. You can split them up and put them in different parts of your room and just use sections of it, as pieces of furniture. The way I set it up is like really tall. You can get more of these and attach them together and put them all like across your entire wall. You can do so much with this. You can use all of them or some of them. You can make it small. You can, any way you want to do it, you can do it with these, and they're very cheap. So if you're on a budget, this is excellent. And I use these for pretty much storage. This is also great for people who tend to lose things on a consistent basis, not because you generally just lose it laying around in your sofa or whatever, but because maybe you put it in a drawer and it's one of those, you don't see it, you forget it, out of sight, out of mind type of situations where it's in a drawer and your drawer is messy and you can't find what you're looking for. But instead, with these cubes, everything's out in the open, and so therefore your room is more organized as a result of that. I also hang up my glasses up here, so I use it like that. I wasn't intended to do that, but I said to myself, "Well, wait a minute, I can just put my glasses up there." And I'd rather have them up there than just laying around, or I step on them by accident or something. So that's one way I use it. I attach my wallet to the cubicle, and I attach my keys to my wallet. I recommend that if you're the kind of person you lose your wallet, you're paranoid about losing your wallet, get a chain or something attached to your pants, and then, and that's how I use it, right? And I have my ironing board on top of the cubicle, which I remove and then bring down to iron things, and then I will, put it back up there, and that's how I use it. You can use it any way you want, depending on your needs, your specific needs. But this is perfect for someone on a budget, for someone who's very disorganized, for someone who has lots of clutter and really wants to organize your home. There's no way you can buy this and not find a use for it. I'll put it that way, because there's just so much flexibility on what you can do with this. Another thing that I do with this is because I don't go to the laundromat near where I live. I wash my clothes at home and I don't have a dryer. So when I finish washing my shirts, my pants, all that, whatever, I will hang some of them, not all of them, but some of them. If it's not a large load, I'll hang them on the actual cubicle itself. And I'll show you how I hang up my clothes and use this as a drying rack. So I will put the hanger up there. See? And I would hang my underwear, my socks, to dry up overnight. See, I'm hanging that up. And, so I would put various hangers and I will let my clothes dry on this rack. I don't have any clothes in the hangers, but I'm just showing you how I would put the hangers up there and use that to dry my clothes. Okay, which is, it's been very convenient for me. So that's another way that I use it. My room right now is admittedly messy. It's disorganized. Even the cubicle itself is messy. It's messy because the cubicle is messy because I have, normally what I would do is I would have everything in each cubicle organized based on my needs. Right now I have 2 irons, and that's because I bought a new iron and I'm returning this iron to the store. So right now, for the meantime, I have 2 irons there. I also have 2 ironing boards, because that's the old board and that's the new board up there. And I'll probably do a review on these items that I have. But for now, everything's kind of like messed up because I was cleaning up and I've been doing a lot of purchasing and buying, and I didn't have the time to figure out where to put everything. So I just threw everything in the cubicles for the meantime until I can sort it out. Okay, but this is way better than having everything just laying around my room, random stuff just laying around my room because I didn't know where to put it. This is a great place to just put things if if you don't know where to put it in the meantime. Everything just goes to the cubicle. It's easier. It makes cleaning a lot easier and being organized a lot easier, even if you are disorganized. Now, so this is one item I do highly recommend if you are a person who struggles to, now for those who think, is this going to look pretty in my room? Is this going to look nice in my room? I'm going to tell you something. If your room is normally messy, it looks like a hurricane hit it, it's a lot better to have this in your room than to have a messy room. Okay. I rather have this. And also, if you decide in the future you want to get real furniture, something that looks nicer, for example, like these wood containers right here, these wood cubicles, you can do that in the future, right? So this could be just a temporary thing. I mean, no matter what, you will use this later. You put it in your closet. You find other uses for it. But if you're on a budget and right now you're not too sure what to get to organize your home, this is definitely going to be excellent because you can make it any way you want. You can make it tall, horizontal. You can only use a few of the cubicles and keep the rest in the closet. You don't have to have a tall, cubicle like this. You can just decide, I'm just going to have one shelf, in my room. You can do whatever you want with these. And there's just so much immense flexibility. These also have paddings that come with it, okay? Which is good if you tend to have smaller objects that you don't want to fall through the squares. For example, this screw right here could have easily fallen through the squares, but the padding that comes with it, which you don't have to use any glue or anything, you just put it on top of there. So that's one item I strongly recommend if you're wondering, how do I organize my home? If it's full of clutter and you tend to have things thrown around, this is going to make a tremendous difference. And you can get as many of these as you like. You can order more of them and have your entire wall have full of cubicles. If you're that messy or you have that much clutter, or scatter them all around your room, you can split this in half and have one small portion of them here and then one small portion in the other room. There's just so much creativity and flexibility you could use these for. And I found uses for them I didn't even expect. I will have them listed in the bottom area if you want to look for them on Amazon. The different, this is not, I'm not, funded by these people or anything. I'm just explaining a tool that I use to organize my room. And there's different companies that sell these. So you'll be fine with that. And again, better to have this than to have a messy room, okay? Even if you're wondering if it's going to look pretty in your room or not. They have this usually in white or black. You pick your color. And that's just one item that I use. Now, the next item that I use that has made a tremendous difference in cleaning up my room and having my room organized is this, okay? This grappler right here. Now, I know what you're thinking, and this is the same thing my friend said to me. And my friend said to me, buddy, you're not elderly, you're not a short person. Why do you need a grappler to clean up your room? And here's going to be my pitch to you, my argument about this, why you should get this, even if you're young and you're healthy and you don't have a problem at all reaching for things, or maybe you're really tall. The reason this is good is if you're that kind of person that you don't like to bend down and pick things off the floor. If you're simply that kind of person, get this, okay? You will instantly pick everything off the floor, your shirts, your underwears, your socks. You're going to pick everything up, okay? And you could be someone who, for example, you could be the complete opposite of someone who's elderly and frail and weak. You could be someone who goes to the gym and you do dips and dives and works on your ab and you do hard workouts at the gym. And what happens when you work out at the gym? I know, okay? You feel sore. Maybe you did 1,000 sit-ups. Now your stomach hurts, and all this other stuff. Your body's aching from all the hard workout you did at the gym. All right, when you come home, the last thing you want to do after lifting, doing dives and dips in the gym and lifting 100,000 pounds or whatever you do at the gym, you're sore, you're aching. You don't want to bend down and pick things up, because your body's already been through a lot, right? So, instead you pick this up and, you use this to pick up whatever's on the floor. Okay. Because I'm going to tell you, when you do a hard workout at the gym, there's a recovery period where, depending on how hard you work out, you are kind of like on a weaker level because you're doing the healing process. Your muscles are healing or whatever. So this can be good for that kind of person who's constantly hitting the gym and your stomach hurts and everything. You don't want to bend down, okay, because you did a hard workout at the gym. All right. This is also for someone who's really tall. Maybe you're 6 foot tall and bending, it's body mechanics. Bending down and reaching the floor is more inconvenient for you, okay, because you're a tall person. Or it could be that you worked really hard at your job, you're tired, and you just don't want to be dipping and diving to pick random things up off the floor, okay? And or you're like me, you just don't like picking things off the floor, and I don't. So there's different people that could be using this, and it has nothing to do with being elderly or lazy. It's just your lifestyle necessitates that you get one of these objects. Furthermore, it's just more fun. You ever been at the carnival and you put a quarter in the machine and the machine is like trying to get the doll and you're trying to pick it and you're like, oh, let me pick this doll. You're trying to get, I never got one. I tried it. I put some quarters in the machine at the carnival and the arm wouldn't pick it up. Well, it feels fun when you use this for some people. All right. And it's fun for me when I use it. It turns a monotonous activity into something fun to do. Also, in the age of Corona, right now we're in the pandemic, this is useful for picking things off the floor, your dirty floor, where you don't have to touch it. You can use this instead. Okay? And right now I have some clothes on the floor. I put this on the floor on purpose, okay? Just to show you, all right? My room was already clean. So here's some clothes, random stuff on the floor. And this is how I use the grabber to pick things up. Just pick this. I'm a little slow right now because I'm holding the camera. And this is convenient if you're someone who's always on your phone. You're talking to your friends, or maybe you're a guy, you're talking to some girl on the phone, right? And while you're talking on the phone, casually chatting, you can pick up stuff from the floor, put it in your hamper, clean up your room, because it's a lot harder to bend down and move around when you're on the phone chatting with someone. They can hear that a little bit, So if you're a person who's constantly chatting on the phone, hey, very useful to have the arm. And it picks up anything. I mean, it could pick up a quarter. It could pick up anything that's laying on the floor. So here's a pen that I put on the floor intentionally just to show an example. And you see how fast I'm cleaning everything up? Here's a little random thingy. I don't even know what this is for. I think it belonged to a skateboard I was using. I just pick it up, put it wherever, okay? And you could just very casually, comfortably, conveniently just pick things up off the floor. And I'm going to tell you something. As much as I make this sound like a very casual thing that you can buy, this can be a life changer. Both these things can be a life changer for certain people who are watching this. Okay, where you are habitually, constantly messy. Things are always laying around on the floor. And you just, for whatever reason, you don't pick them up. It's inconvenient for you. You get this, and all of a sudden, picking things up are not only easy, but fun. Okay, it's like it becomes a game where you're just picking things up with the arm. And here's some socks, just to give you an example. Picking up this with, picking up my socks and just put them in the hamper. Okay. It's good for reaching things. Maybe something went underneath your bed and you have to go down there and reach it. You can use the arm. And it's also excellent for kids. Like let's say you have a 2-year-old or 1-year-old. I have a niece. And right now I'm going to show you some toys laying on the floor. And maybe you're a busy parent. You're multitasking. You have the baby in your arm and you need to clean up around the house, but you only have one arm. This is going to help you tremendously as a mom or dad with the kids picking up their toys. So I'm going to show you an example of that. So here's some toys that my niece left on the floor. So if you have a parent and this is your regular everyday household life where you have toys laying around, and I visited my friend once, he had 2 kids, and this is what his house looked like, toys all over the place. Having this grabber here is very useful. And you can just pick up the toys pick up the toys, and put them away wherever you put them. And the thing is, kids are constantly making messes. So they're like throwing stuff around. They're picking, whatever you clean up, they make another mess. So you can't be dipping and diving every minute, every like hour. You're a busy parent. Maybe you work full-time job. You don't have the luxury of doing that. So this arm can be tremendously useful for picking up your kids' toys, okay, and organizing your home and making something that is a chore and not very comfortable fun to do, And again, you could be holding the baby, talking on the phone, multitasking, and cleaning up at the very same time, as you're doing that, okay? And that's just an example. This is my niece's toys that she left around, of how you can just pick things up randomly. And it can be things that maybe it's something that's not safe for the kids, The other thing, too, that I want to mention is that maybe you have kids. Maybe your kids are a little older. They're like 7, 10 years old. And they're messy, and you're trying to get them to be more clean, right? Well, guess what? You could buy this for them, okay? And convince them that this is just fun. And it's like one of those carnival games where you have an arm and you pick things up. And you never know. Get this for your kids, and all of a sudden you find that they're picking random things up with this arm here. Not because it's a chore, an errand, but just because it's fun for them too. So all of a sudden your kids are now more motivated to clean because it's more fun with this arm. And you find that your kids who have a messy room are constantly leaving things on the floor are now picking things up with this arm because to them it's a game, it's a toy. And now your 7-year-old, your 6-year-old, your 10-year-old is super clean because they're using this arm and they think it's a toy and they're just having fun with it, okay, as they're cleaning up. So this can instantly make your kids more cleaner, your older kids, your teenagers, whatever, if you get them this arm. Some of them, Some may not use the arm. And of course, it's also good for high places. So let's say you pick something up from the floor, right? And you have to put it in a really high spot, You can put it on a really high spot. So if you're a short person, I didn't pick anything up. I'm just giving you an example. It could be useful for that, okay? So that's one tool that I use. Now, the other thing that I do to help me become more clean is I have, and by the way, this can fold, it can actually fold up and be more compact for portability, just to let you know. I have multiple hampers in my room too. So I have one hamper there and 2 hampers there. This is very important if you're someone who has lots of clothes and you don't have closet space. Have multiple hampers. Also, if you're a person who tends to be like you have trash laying around for whatever reason, food, paper, whatever, you have trash all over the place, you can get multiple trash cans as well. So I recommend multiple hampers, multiple trash cans if you tend to have lots of clothes, period, or lots of trash in your home. Okay? Whatever it takes to be clean. But this has helped me to, I do have to throw away some clothes. I have way too many clothes. Please don't make fun of my pajamas, okay? I have ninja pajamas, okay? I'm a grown adult who wears ninja pajamas. So what? It's in my home. I also have these pajamas here too, But I have to throw away some clothes, replace some clothes, and so on. And I also have these here that I used to hang up in this case, my belts. I used to have my belts in the closet and I would lose my belts and I have to go somewhere and I'm like, where's my belt? Where's my belt? Well, I have my belts on the wall wherever I want to put them. And these here I got from Costco. Now these are using tape. It has a glue that sticks to your wall. It doesn't damage your wall, but you just put it on your wall with the glue. Very easy wherever you want to put it. Okay. And it has I've had this for over a year. It's never fallen off. As long as you don't put anything extremely heavy on it. In this case, all I have are belts. You can use that to hang up your belts and things like that. So to wrap things up, I use the cubicles to store things. It's not the prettiest thing, but it's a lot better than having a messy room. Okay, to have these cubicles. And it's great for people who are on a budget, can't afford expensive furniture, or not sure what you want to get to organize your room. You can just be creative and figure out what you need according to that, according to your needs. I do have to clean this cubicle up because there's things scattered around. It's not normally this messy, this cubicle, but I just threw random stuff up there and I'm going to organize it later. So it can look much prettier than it does right now. That's what I'm saying. Like I have to put that iron away because I already purchased a new iron. And so that's something that has helped out tremendously. The grabber has helped out. Multiple hampers and things that I've hung up on the wall has been very helpful. And for some of you people watching, those two items, these cubicles here and the grabber, can be a life changer. For me, it was. I had so many random things thrown on the floor. It's like my floor was a magnet, and I would find remote controls, pens, all types of things, pieces of paper, receipts just laying on the floor, crumpled up, or whatever it was. And I used the grabber, and I just pick up random stuff. Right now I got to sweep them off the floor, by the way. My room is messy right now, but you should see it the way it was before. It was like a hurricane hit it, literally. I mean, everything was just everywhere, okay? And with the cubicles and the grabber, I'm a new man. I mean, I literally look for things to pick up off the floor to put away with the arm, okay? And for people who do have back problems, what are you waiting for? Buy this, okay? This one cost me $11, not a lot of money. They do have more expensive versions of this, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. I think it's about 34 inches long. I will put a listing for this and the cubes below if you want to buy these exact ones. But they have different models, different companies that make these. This is called a grabbing arm, I think. So you can look that up on Google or Amazon. That's my review and my tips for instantly being more organized and clean by just getting these two things. Leave a like if you like what you saw. Subscribe for more videos. Have a more fun, productive life, and take care.